All right, let's talk about something huge for CPA firms today. We're going to dive into how you can take outsourcing and turn it from just, a simple tactic into a real powerful engine for growth.
Just let that sink in for a second. Can you feel it? I'm talking about the smell of stale coffee at midnight, those mountains of paperwork on your desk, and that knot in your stomach every single time the phone rings.
Yeah, sounds a little too familiar, doesn't it? Well, if that hits close to home, you're not alone. I mean, firms all over the country are in the exact same boat. This isn't about one firm's struggle. It's a huge, industry-wide challenge we're all facing.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the CPA's dilemma. Then shift our mindset, see how outsourcing works in the real world, tackle some common worries, and finally, talk about building a firm that's ready for the future.
All right, let's get right into it. The modern CPA's dilemma. We need to really understand the pressures that make tax season feel like a recurring nightmare. So, what are we actually up against here?
So it really boils down to this perfect storm, right? First, staff shortages. Finding good CPAs is tougher than ever. Then you've got compliance getting more and more complicated. And to top it all off, clients want everything yesterday with super personalized advice. It's just not sustainable. So the big question is, how in the world do you break out of this cycle? Well, the answer might surprise you. It's not about buying some fancy new software or desperately trying to hire more people. It all starts with a huge mindset shift. And this right here is the absolute key. For the longest time, people thought of outsourcing as, just a way to save a few bucks, a shortcut. But that's the old way of thinking. The reality, it's a powerful, strategic tool for growth, for efficiency, and for scaling your firm. It's about building capacity so your team can focus on what really matters.
Okay, that's the theory, but what does this actually look like in action? Let's get practical and break down 4 key areas where this can totally transform your firm.
First up, staying on top of tax law changes. You know what I'm talking about. It's a constantly moving target, an absolute beast to keep up with. And it's not just a nice to have, it's non-negotiable for protecting your clients and your firm's reputation. Now, what if you had a partner whose entire job was to watch for these changes? I'm talking real-time alerts, research support, and someone double-checking returns against the latest IRS rules. This is way more than just saving a few hours of research. It's about actively slashing your risk.
All right, number 2, streamlining personal tax prep. This is the big one, right? It's the mountain of work that leads to all those late nights during tax season.
So by outsourcing that high-volume, kind of repetitive work, you do something amazing. You free up your senior staff. Instead of getting bogged down, they can focus on the complex, high-value stuff, advisory work, and actually talking to your clients. Okay, let's talk payroll compliance. It's one of those things that has to be perfect. But man, it can be a massive headache, right? So many chances for tiny but very costly mistakes. This is how you turn that headache into a smooth, reliable process. Think about it. Accurate calculations, guaranteed compliance, and no more wasting hours trying to fix some weird payroll issue. It's about peace of mind, plain and simple. And number 4, leveraging global expertise for audits. Audits take a ton of manpower, especially during peak season when it feels like you need everyone you can get. This is where you get a real superpower, scalability. Imagine being able to tap into a team of trained professionals who already know U.S. standards. You can scale your workforce up or down instantly. It means you hit your deadlines without completely burning out your in-house team. Now here's what ties this all together. Technology. We're talking secure cloud sharing, automated compliance checks, and real-time monitoring. This isn't about just shipping work off into some black hole and hoping for the best. It's about creating a totally seamless, transparent workflow where everyone's on the same page.
Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. This all sounds great, but what about the risks? And that's a totally fair question. So let's just tackle the 2 biggest concerns we hear all the time, head on.
The first one is always about data security. And it should be. You're handling incredibly sensitive financial information. There's just no room for error here. So, is it safe? The short answer is yes, absolutely. But it has to be with the right partner. We're talking about secure workflows, heavy-duty data encryption, and really strict controls on who can see what. It's all about keeping that data locked down.
The other big question, and this one's really personal, is about your team. You're thinking, wait, will this replace the amazing people I already have in-house?
And the answer is a clear no.
This is not about replacing people. It's about elevating them. You take the high-volume, routine tasks off their plate, which empowers them to focus on what they do best: strategy, building those crucial client relationships, and doing high-level review.
Look, here's the bottom line. For any modern CPA firm that wants to grow and stay competitive, outsourcing has moved from being optional to being strategic. It's not just a nice to have anymore, it's a core part of the playbook for success. So that really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Is your firm built to just survive yesterday's challenges, or is it truly built for tomorrow's growth? It's a big question, and the strategy you choose will make all the difference.